Greetings, class. It is week 7, and so for the week 7 laboratory, I have updated it because I've heard from a few of the students that you still haven't received the microscopes. And so what I am going to do is for the next 2 weeks, I want to make sure that you have the lab equipment that you need for your particular lab. On next term, what I'm looking to do is to give you the lab kit for this current term on next term. And so you'll be working with the lab kit that you have now is the lab kit for next term. And so you will be working with some new stuff, and you will also be working with some older stuff because there's the couple labs that I wanted you to do that involve the microscope. I still want you to be able to do those. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reassign them for next term. And so you won't miss out on these labs. And I'm working with the Carolina to see that you can get the kits that you missed from this term, if you can get them next term, so that you can work with that kit as well. And so for this particular lab, you're going to be determining pH based on 3 solutions. It is a lab simulation, and so you do not need your lab kit for this lab. And what this will do is reinforce the calculations that we did on last week with pH and your H plus concentration. And so you'll actually look at a lab simulation of measuring the pH, not just using the tablets to look at the pH, or I think you use the pH paper, either the tablets or pH paper, but you will look at how the pH probe looks in a laboratory setting, okay, and how you would use it and go through that. And so it's already updated in your module for week 6. And so you'll click on this, and this is the actual, and I'm going to reorder it. This is actually where you're going to submit your lab, all right? And then if you go back, and I'm going to move that order around so you see the instructions first. So let me, okay, there we go. So you'll see the instructions. This is the week 7 lab updated. And so if you click on that, you'll be able to download the instructions. You'll also see the instructions here. And so there's a link to this lab, and I'm going to show you the virtual lab in a moment. But this week we're working on pH. And so you're going to determine the pH experimentally for seawater, sewage water, and lime water. Okay, you don't need the information for the carbonated drink. That's also listed in the virtual lab, and I'll show you that. And there are different sections in this virtual lab. There's aim, theory, pre-test procedures, simulations, post-test, and references. Okay. So each section must be included in the lab report. So let's look at that. So this is the virtual lab. Okay, so the aim is to determine the pH value of given solutions using a pH meter. And then this is the theory or the introduction. So this you're going to put in your own words, and you're going to add this to the introduction section for your lab report. Then you have your pretest. So you have different questions for your pretest. Once you've answered the questions, you're going to hit submit quiz. It's going to tell you how well you did. You want to keep retaking the quiz until you get them all right. Once you've gotten them all right, you do want to take a picture of your pretest. That picture you're going to include in your lab report. All right. And then you have the procedures. So this you're going to write in your own words. You're going to summarize what you'll be doing, and you're going to place that in the procedure section of your lab report. So right here, determining the pH. So you have 4 samples listed here, but we're only looking at seawater, sewage water, and lime water for this particular experiment. Okay, you can play with carbonated water, carbonated drink on your own, but it does not need to be included in your actual lab report. And then your simulation. Okay, this is the actual lab that you'll be performing. All right. And after you've gone through and you've done one water sample, you do need to click on simulation again to go through for the next. Wait a minute. All right. For the next one. Then you get to post test. For the post test, okay, you're going to do the same thing you did for the pre-test. You're going to go through, answer the questions, submit it. You're going to keep retaking it until you get them all correct. Then you want to take a picture of your post test and then put it into your lab report. And then we have references. So this is a demo of the simulation, and then there's experimental demo. This is in a different language, and so I couldn't figure out how to translate it to English, but if you can figure that out, this is a demo. This is just to show you what you'll be doing for the simulation. This one is a nice experimental demo because it shows you in an actual lab what it looks like to take the pH. So if you want to look through those YouTube videos, here's some other references for this particular simulation. For your reference, you're going to reference this website. All right. So let me go back to the page. Okay, so each section must be included in your lab report. Take the pre-test and post-test and submit your answers. If you have any questions incorrect, they will highlight in red and you can change your answer and resubmit. Once you have a submission where all the answers are correct, take a picture and place the picture in the report as a figure with either pre-test or post-test as the figure label. So I'm going to show you how I want you to set up your lab report. The procedures outline the instructions for the lab simulations, and the simulations themselves will also guide you through the step-by-step instructions for performing the lab. Remember to include your reference at the end of the paper. See below for the proper setup, and if you have any questions, remember to consult me. Okay, let me know. All right, so your lab report setup. Your introduction, you want to use the information from the theory section. Remember to summarize the information in your own words. The pretest, you're going to insert the picture of your completed pretest, okay? And each of these headings needs to be the headings for the different sections in your lab report. Remember, you still want to have your front page being your with your information about your name, the lab report title, the date, and the class. Okay, so you want that to be included in your lab report as well. I will update this. Procedure, use the information from the procedure section. Remember to summarize the information in your own words. The results include the following table. I forgot to put the table in. So let me do that now. So what I want to do is I want to bring it up so that you can see the table that I want in there. Okay, so um, all right, so first I want to put title page. Okay, all right, include. Okay, title page should be student name. It should also be title of experiment, class name, and the date. Okay. So all of these should be in your title page, just like you've done before. Okay. All right. So then your introduction. Okay. All right. Now in the procedure, nope, sorry, in the results, I forgot to include your table. That would help you out a lot. So I'm going to include the table. Okay, so I want it to be 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So it'd be 4, by 4. Okay. So this is going to be water sample. This is going to be pH value. This is going to be acidic, basic, neutral. Okay. Basic, I'm going to change to alkaline because that's the term that is used most often in water treatment plants. It's also the term that's used in your lab itself. Hydrogen ion. I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna put it as H plus concentration. Remember, when it's in square brackets, that means concentration, so that you make sure that you know what that means. Okay, so this is what I want for your table. So you have seawater, you have lime water, and you have sewage water. Okay. And so you want to fill in the pH values, the acidic, alkaline, or neutral. You want to write which you have. And then your H plus concentration, you need to include that. Okay. Include the following table. Control C. Or actually, let me just move that down here. Okay. And then I want to, all right. There we go. So that you know. All right, so you want to also show your calculations for the H plus concentration. So you have 3 H plus concentrations you have to calculate. I want to see all 3 calculations in your results section. Okay, so those are the 2 things. Then your post test, you want to insert a picture of your completed post test and then your references. You want to reference the website in APA style. So this should be what is in your lab report. Very important. Okay, I'm going to actually move this down so you see this all together. Okay. All right, so if you have questions, let me know. I am going to post this updated version of the instructions. So let me know if you have questions. Have a great day.